our stream software just crashed. We just ask that you be patient. We're going through a lot of turnover right now, moving into this new house. So, a few weeks at most, and we'll be back up and running like normal, business as usual here at OTD Studios. Before we cut out, Rebo Hustle was talking about his draft prospects, and I'll let him finish up because he's got a little bit more to say on one of those. But first, I'll hit y'all with a score update for all of you people in Timbuktu. It is now the bottom of the fifth. LSU is still up 5-2. One out, and Trey Morgan just walked. So runner on first, one out. LSU up 5-2. Things you love to see. But yes, please continue about homeboy that I will not try to pronounce his name.
Bilal Kabali or something like either Kabali or Kabulele. The French announcers have been announcing it very odd, but a lot of people think it's Kabali.
Kabali, okay.
He's a hustler. I know we've already compared Jarris Walker to Jeremy Grant, but this guy has some Jeremy Grant in him, can get down and guard your best guy. But he also is 6'8". He plays a little bit bigger than that too. He's got, I think, 7'4" wingspan or something ridiculous. And since Victor Wembanyama has been in the U.S. doing media for the draft and all, Bilal has been their best player. And so he's been rocketing up boards. He was a second-round pick 2 weeks ago. A lot of people are hot on Chris Murray. We know Keegan Murray from Iowa last year, played for the Kings. I personally wasn't too fond of him because we went go watch the Kings play the Pelicans, and he had 0 points and just ran around the court the whole time. I think he had 38 minutes, 0 points.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Kings players struggled in that game.
And so Chris Murray is his brother light. He's not as good. And one last thing before I get off of the draft. If Ashur and Amin go in the top 10, they'll be the first siblings to go in the top 10 of an NBA draft.
Wow, interesting. Hope it happens. Love to see new ground being broken, no matter what the sport or anything really is. It's always good to, set a new tone and go with the flow. Speaking of, I'm gonna try and get a good segue of going with the flow.
Sorry, that was a burp.
We're going to cut on over to, in the last few minutes here, hear a little bit of thoughts from us on the NFL. Coming up this next season, it's approaching fast. And, but more than that, my personal favorite, fantasy football. I'm all right. There's, a huge debate. We've heard it from all of our guests so far. Is Bijan Robinson a top 10 fantasy running back?
Just running back, yes.
You think he's
is he a top 10?
Is he a first-round pick?
Yes. He is a back-end first-round pick. I think he is a... if I get in, if I'm picking 12 in our 14-team league and Bijan's on the board, I'm taking him.
Interesting.
Even if, they could have... Well, I can't say they could have taken 3 wide receivers before, but if there's been a couple of receivers off the board, somebody might spice it up or something. Somebody might take Travis Kelce in the first, like some of these mock draft apps have been doing.
Travis Kelce, we've seen it with Gronk for all these years. Travis Kelce, he has been in fact, in our last league, he was drafted in the first round.
By you?
No. I took your tight end last year.
Oh, yeah, we traded. I forgot.
We've seen him be drafted in the first round and be productive. Gronk really kind of started that whole thing. As far as my knowledge, I'm not
It's more of a Tennessee, tight differential per position. I know that I'm going to get 20 more points out of well, not 20, but I'm going to get 10 more points out of my tight end spot than you are. And so I can give up 5 at running back or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely all about playing the field when it comes to fantasy football. But yeah, continue what you were saying about
Bijan.
Bijan.
I know Redfish hates him.
We all do.
Me and Redfish are co-owners in our
I'm sure y'all
big
are
money league.
butting heads.
We've been trying to iron out a big board for the past month and a half now.
Yeah,
he's been away, but
I've caught a few glimpses of his, not like the big board per se, but he kind of just had like a rough draft of rankings, his personal rankings for
the
fantasy
wide
coming
receiver,
up.
quarterback, like individual position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been referencing that lately. I've been doing a lot of mocks. We've got some differing opinions, but we meet in the middle. He's also going to be the one who's present on draft day, and I'll be at a music festival.
Mm.
And so
I
I'll
think you
have
might-
him in my ear, and I'll be telling him my opinions, and if he doesn't go with my opinions, it's okay. I don't know. I'll take CMC, Austin Eckler. I hate doing this off the top of my head. Pull up a list.
You want like running backs you'd take before?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just go down the list because
Okay.
I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy
Yeah,
when it
I'm
comes
not.
to running backs.
I'm the basketball
So you
guy.
said CMC and Eckler.
Yep.
What about Derrick Henry?
It's iffy.
Really?
The offensive line has gotten so bad. You're missing their entire starting left side from last year.
Yeah, but I mean they did get some replacements, but it's going to take some time, especially
All pros on the left side that they're replacing. So it's not going to be great, but it's not going to be bad.
Filling big holes. But at the same time, Atlanta's had a pretty rough O-line for the past 3-4 years.
That's fair. But you saw a guy, Tyler Algiers last year, and Cordell Patterson. Both of them can catch passes out of the backfield. Both of them can do their own thing. Cordell Patterson was the hottest running back in the league last year and at the end of
he
2021.
Not last season, but the season before, he exploded. He was mostly a kick returner before that point, but he switched into running back. He played he was getting a few snaps at receiver, but he was mostly a running back there in Atlanta and just exploded onto the scene. A lot of people were confused when they drafted Tyler Algier because, they thought Cordell Patterson was going to
Just had a great year.
Yeah, going to be the guy. And so a lot of people questioned it. Turned out they both had pretty good seasons. It was looking great for the first half of the season for both of them, but unfortunately Cordell went through an injury, and by the time he got healthy again, Tyler Algier was just racking up the yards for the team, and they knew they were out of the hunt for anything really, and so they kind of just let him sit.
The way I see it is, so a lot of places have their workhorse back, their Derrick Henry, stuff like that, and then they have their Tajay Spears, like their receiving back, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I think Bijan went as high in the draft as he is because he's proved he can be a workhorse. He's also proved that he has a route tree like a wide receiver. And so I'm willing to take a risk on him. Like, he's one of those guys that I'm like, if he's there, I'll take him. But
you're not going to be heartbroken if he goes.
I'm not going to be heartbroken if he's not on my team. But I'm interested. Like, Bryce is done with him, but I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to just go out of my way not to draft him. I think he will be a solid running back for the next couple of years. Just personally, I wouldn't have him as running back 1. RB1, he's not in that category for me. RB2, absolutely. Great guy to come off the bench, absolutely. Just for me, I go off of playing it safe, and it's done me well for many years.
I know, but you're saying that there's 14 running backs that are better than him?
All right, let's continue going on the list. So you said CMC,
Maybe
Eckler, maybe Derrick Henry,
they'll have similar years, in my opinion.
Saquon,
Saquon.
Jonathan Taylor.
Y'all aren't going to like me. I don't think Jonathan Taylor's going to have a great year this year. We saw that O-line struggle last year.
Well, he got hurt last year.
And he was hurt, but they also struggled with Zach Moss and all them. I'm not confident in that O-line anymore.
Okay. That's fair.
And also, there is zero pass game to stand behind. Anthony Richardson will be running the ball.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. He led the league 2 seasons ago in rushing yards, and he was fantasy running back 1. Definitely took a step back, due to injury and a lot of things going on down there in Indy. I'd like to see him turn around, but I'm also iffy on Jonathan Taylor.
Now, let's say...
I would pick him over Bijan, though.
Let's say that... So, like, we do the card thing for our draft, right?
Yeah.
So, let's say we draw the last one, and we get stuck at, like, 6, 7, 8. I'm probably taking a receiver over Bijan. But I'm... Like, if it's Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, and a receiver, I'm taking the receiver.
That's fair. Yeah, I'd probably do the same. Okay. Who else we got? The rushing yards leader last season, Josh Jacobs.
It's a big question mark. I like Josh Jacobs this year because rushing leader last year. That's my argument for Nick Chubb every year too. Is there's a reason he's getting those yards. Now Nick Chubb is a different story. We're going to talk about him in a second.
I was just about to say after this I'm going to ask you Nick Chubb.
Josh Jacobs. I'll take Josh Jacobs over Bijan.
Okay. Let's get into Nick Chubb.
So,
with my loud ass chair.
My gut tells me you can't not take Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, Kareem Hunt's not there anymore. He's going to be, the main back. He's going to be the workhorse. You saw them split snaps for the most part. He did get a little more workload, but with Kareem Hunt gone, he's going to have to... I am expecting big things out of Nick Chubb this season.
I am not.
Wow.
So last year, Deshaun Watson came week 13, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So his fantasy points, Nick Chubb's, prior to Deshaun coming back, he was averaging 20-something points PPR. He, in the 6 weeks to follow, with Deshaun Watson, he was averaging 13.5. So, if we get in the year of Deshaun Watson, I am not as confident in Nick Chubb.
Well, from what I saw, this is what I saw happening when Deshaun came back. They were also more
forced to pass the ball.
They were a more pass-heavy offense, which meant Kareem Hunt was in the game more because he's the passing back. With him gone, that's why I was saying this. With him gone, they're going to be forced to throw Nick Chubb in there. They're going to be forced to run the ball down their throat, which they can do. We've seen them have a solid O-line for Nick Chubb. I'm expecting big things from him this season.
Personally, don't want him on my team.
All right, fair. Like a Keenan Allen. Like a Cortland Sutton.
Both of them have grown on me. I'm excited about Sean Payton and the receivers in Denver.
Me too, without a doubt.
I know Redfish hates me because every time I send him a mock draft, I've got Jerry Jeudy as my backup receiver or wide receiver 2, and he is just so mad every time because he doesn't want anything to do with a Broncos receiver after what we had to go through last year. But I'm willing to do it again.
Okay. Let me think of what about so there's 3 big running backs in free agency. You got Dalvin Cook, Fournette, and Zeke. Depending on where they go, like in the most ideal situation, would you still take Bijan over them?
So if Dalvin goes to the Broncos, is my ideal situation.
I don't know about that. Javonte is him.
that ain't the way people been talking.
Wow. I missed
I
this.
also believe in Javonte. I would love for him to be my running back 2.
Again, for me, yes. He was my running back 2 seasons ago.
But,
Right? Yeah.
so we know people show up.
Something like that.
So we know people in our leagues show up with printed ESPN list or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't make their own like me and Bryce did. And so on big boards, Javonte has been going as backup running backs in 14-team leagues.
Like bench, not
Bench.
running back 2. Interesting.
And I'm like, this is a steal every time. Every time I do a mock, I'm like, this is the best running back available, clearly. But I think in real life, he's going to go higher. But also, Dalvin Cook in that offense sounds amazing. Also, Javonte Williams and Sean Payton's offense is beautiful. But we shall see. I mean, where else are you going to send him?
Dalvin Cook. Yeah, there was talks about him going to Tampa.
Yuck.
It was, just coming off the top of my head, off the dome per se, perchance. That's the really only the one I can, recall.
Do you really want Baker to spike you in the forehead or Kyle Trask to throw it in the ground at your feet?
The quarterback situation in Tampa's rough, especially from what,
The training camp videos?
what videos have been, posted on social media of these two quarterbacks dueling it out for second place.
Yeah, I mean, I really only take Dalvin Cook in a decent situation over Bijan. I don't think Fournette's going to get enough. Like, he's a workhorse. He's not going to get a workhorse reps being in free agency right now.
Yeah.
Zeke can do things. He was incredible for me and Bryce last year.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Zeke and Fournette are similar because they're very touchdown-heavy, like fantasy-wise, they're
Yeah.
very touchdown-oriented running backs. They are the ones that punch it in on the goal line 9 out of 10 times. So they've gotten the majority of their points from touchdowns rather than yards. Dalvin Cook's quite the opposite. Especially last year, we saw him catching a ton of passes, running for a ton of yards. But Madison was always there coming in to punch it in.
I'm very confused on where I'm going to rank Alexander Madison in the running back rankings now. Like, he's such a pass-catching back, and that offense switched last year to be shotgun heavy. You could see it happening, but also they just drafted another receiver, Jordan Addison. I mean, you got rid of Adam Thielen, but
It's going to be big. I love that receiving core.
it's going to be interesting for Alexander Madison. I'm not excited to get him as like a running back 2, but if he's coming off my bench, I'm excited.
Yeah, I can agree with that. What about the dynamic duo in Green Bay, Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon?
So the debate is how many reps is Tyler Algier getting, right? They can't just be done after what he did last year.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get, I'd say probably 40 to 45% of the snaps, especially he was such a great third down running back
Yeah.
coming out of the backfield last season. They can't just pass that up.
Yeah. I'm not the A.J. Dillon guy. I don't like having RB2s on my team.
I'm right there with you.
Now,
I think he could be an RB1 somewhere without a doubt.
I
He
agree.
is
Yeah.
a very talented human being with quads
Huge
the
quads.
sizes of
Watermelons.
CPU.
But I think with Jordan Love taking the reins, Aaron-
Run heavy offense.
it's going to be a run-heavy offense. And when Aaron Rodgers was back there, the dump-off to Aaron Jones was always there. I think that it's also going to still be there.
Yeah, because he's not going to be able to throw the ball down
Yeah.
the field.
And I like Aaron Jones, but I'm still taking Bijan over him. Bijan's the end of the first round guy. Aaron Jones is the mid-second for me.
Okay. I mean, nothing egregious from my point of view. I know Redfish and a lot will probably despise you right now.
Yeah, because I said that it's iffy with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that was a big point. Let's take a switch from
Still
running
up
backs.
5-2. Bottom of the sixth.
Let's
One
just-
out.
let's-
Joe Barrett at bat.
I like
Okay,
it.
sorry.
Let's take a turn from running backs. We are going to see a lot of turnover at the quarterback position this season. Give me some of your guys who you think are going to overperform this year or perform better than they did last year. When I say better, I don't mean like they're going to score overall 3 more fantasy points than last season.
Oh, no. Like, make leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Rodgers had a tough year last year.
Correct.
Boy, does he have weapons. That offensive line a little questionable.
They built a team around him in an instant. I mean, they already had a great one going into it, and they've just bolstered it so much this offseason.
The offensive line is still a little questionable. Could see my guy Taylor Lewan in a Jets uni. They need a left tackle. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it. You know? So, Aaron Rodgers is going to take a big step. I love him as a backup quarterback. Just because the chance that he doesn't pan out.
I mean, it's the Jets. There's always a chance that it doesn't work out.
But I'm liking him. Me and Bryce correctly predicted Tua last year. We secured him as our backup quarterback. Who else? I think Derek Carr's going to have a similar year fantasy-wise. Might get a couple more wins. He's got a defense.
He had a pretty good fantasy year last season. Pretty slept-on quarterback in fantasy because he's always playing from behind. Well, he was always playing from behind in Vegas, so he was getting tons of yardage.
I just thought of one. Danny Dimes got Darren Waller. Boy, did he need a receiver that can catch the ball in the back of the end zone because all of his are 5'4".
I do not believe in Danny Dimes this season. That receiving core.
Did you see what he did to my Vikings in the playoffs?
I did, but it's Vikings in the playoffs.
Hey.
It's Kirk Cousins.
Hey.
On Prime TV.
That doesn't mean that the opposing quarterback can run for 300 yards. But also the Vikings didn't have a great defense that year either. But still, I think that I'm liking Danny Dimes a lot more than I was last year. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely took a big step forward. He's definitely becoming more of a leader in New York. Those New York Football Giants.
Now, if there was a rookie that I wanted to take a swing on,
there's a few of them.
Personally,
mm-hmm.
Bryce Young has the best receiving core out of all of them, right? Adam Thielen, Chark, Shenault. Compared to, I couldn't even name John Minchie's coming back. That's the best Houston wide receiver.
John Mechie, Brandon Cooks is a Cowboy.
He's a Cowboy.
Nico Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz is a huge ad, but
Damian Pierce, who we saw catch a good bit of passes and turn them into huge gains.
But the wide receivers alone,
the wide receivers need some work.
You named people I'm not drafting,
correct,
for fantasy. So now I'd be happy with Adam Thielen being my wide receiver 4 or 3.
Yeah,
just like if I got something different,
safety valve.
Yeah. Then you have Anthony Richardson, who I don't think can throw the ball for real.
He's got Pittman, but it's the big question is, can he get the ball?
Can he be accurate? Yeah. Will Levis isn't going to be starting this year, not that I can tell. So I'm swinging on Bryce Young because he's got the best talent around him.
Yeah. I also think he's got the best team around him. Not even outside of just receiving core. I mean, we've seen Miles Sanders be an amazing receiving back just last year in Philly. He took a big step up from previous season. And they've got a solid offensive line. They're building that defense back up to what it used to be in like 2015.
Yeah. They can get a healthy year out of J.C. Horn. Right, he's in North Carolina.
Yes, correct.
That's their big thing. They needed some help on coverage-wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got torched last season. What about? See, one of my a few of my guys that I think are going to be worlds better. Russell Wilson.
Yes. Plain and simple, yes. We got a better play caller. Russell Wilson's not that bad. He's not amazing anymore, but he's not that bad.
Oh yeah, he's not going to be able to throw the ball 70 yards down the field anymore, but he's going to be very productive in that offense, that Sean Payton run offense. Another guy, Justin Fields.
No. My blood boils every time you and Lott have spoken about the Bears this offseason. Yes, he's got another weapon, but they also added Chase Claypool last year, who's not bad.
He's not a wide receiver 1. He's not wide receiver 2 either.
But he's not bad.
No.
And they still couldn't pass the ball. They also improved their offensive line a little bit. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. Sorry.
Well, I am drinking the jungle juice.
Yeah, y'all can drink all the Kool-Aid you want, but I'm not.
I have high hopes for him this year.
Griffin Herring is still on the mound. Hell yes. What a guy.
Yeah. Love to see them Tigers. Still
Top of 7.
Still 5-2, top of the 7th. Please hold on to this league. I had another one in my head and I lost it. Give me 1 second. I'll find it. I know I will. Tua, I think, is going to be worlds better. I think he's going to be able to stay healthy this year.
I mean, that was his problem. The weeks he was healthy, me and Bryce had to talk every week about, well, do we start Tua or do we start Justin Herbert, who's a top 5 fantasy quarterback? We had to talk about that every week Tua was healthy, and it kind of hurt us because we'd pick the wrong matchup every time. But
yeah, didn't y'all eventually started Tua, and then that's the game he got
knocked out. Yeah. We switched it night of. It was a Monday night game. No, Thursday night game.
Thursday night. It was against the Bengals, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're in the white unis with the orange helmets.
Yeah,
I remember.
I was in Hooters.
I was at work. One thing I am interested in is last year we didn't have a healthy Matt Stafford. We didn't have a healthy Cooper Kupp. This year they're supposed to both be healthy week 1. Does Cooper Kupp's numbers continue?
I am not touching that team with a 10-foot pole. I mean, yeah, if Cooper Kupp's there, 3 or 4 receivers in, absolutely I'm going to take him. He's Cooper Kupp. He's going to make something happen.
So you're taking Jetta's Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek, Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Adams, Brown. I'm taking Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Brown.
That's where I'll take Cooper, 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right around there. That's probably the sweet spot.
Because then you go into St. Brown. And then you get I don't understand. You got Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, and then all of a sudden it's T. Higgins, Chris Olave. I'm not taking a wide receiver 2 in an offense as my wide receiver 1 in fantasy. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Never.
Sometimes it boils down to it.
I will not draft.
Especially if you never know what's going to happen with this league. You could have picked 10 and be left with not anyone you thought was going to be there.
That'd be tough. Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah. You got to pick 10. 6 receivers go off the board. You got to take running
I got a
back.
good running back.
But
But then receivers come back. It's going to be rough again.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a tough league to manage. Tons of talent from these GMs of these teams. Every team, everyone has a chance to get there except Randall.
Yeah, poor Randall.
1 win in 2 seasons.
He's winning the championship every year in the draft.
Oh yeah.
And he's telling you about it.
Oh yeah.
He's won 1 game in 2 years.
Ooh. Well, I think that about does it. We're gonna wrap it up here shortly and finish watching these Tigers.
It's not looking good right now. Don't look.
Yeah, quick update before we sign off. Get there, Joe Bear.
In the stands.
Yeah, quick update. Top to 7th, no outs. Wake Forest is batting, and they have runners on first and second. And we got a
Leadoff guy up to bat.
We got a 3-run cushion, so we have some insurance, but I'd like it not to come down to that. We'll see this pitch, and then we'll sign off. Double play ball. Can they turn it? No. Too much speed. Ball was hit kind of slow. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being patient with us. Like I said, a few weeks tops. We'll be back up and running just as usual. Big shout out to the guys at the No spelled Kneaux, the correct way, the only way. I am Mustang.
And I'm Rebo Hustle.
And we will see you next time.